Ladies and gentlemen, it's Monday, November 10th, and I am wearing this cap. You know what my father would say? He'd say, "What, did you have to buy a bowl of soup to get that hat?" No, I did not. But it is
you look like 30, one of the seven. You look like one of the seven dwarfs.
It is, yeah, and we're on our road to 7 losses this season, which is tough. It is 30 degrees in Charlotte. It was snowing on the way home from the gym, and it snowed in Nashville. It is what's going on right now is really quite preposterous. And I didn't say we would start with this, but Pat and I, if you're an OG Sons of Saturday listener, you know that Pat and I have disagreed on fall weather, and we won't debate it. I just want to leave it to the comments for you all to debate it. So can you just give your bite-sized take on fall?
Me? Okay.
Yeah.
Fall weather is overrated, and I will tell you why very, very concisely. It's overrated because you get it for like a couple weeks, and you don't even get to really enjoy it. Once you start enjoying it, it disappears. You get daylight savings and seasonal depression. It is November 10th. It is pitch black outside.
Yeah.
And it is freezing. It is windy. I need to go buy a new coat. The fall weather craze. I mean, it's almost like fall weather is just like a holiday. Like you might as well celebrate it like it's shorter than the Christmas season, fall weather. You get it for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, foliage, peak foliage. Yes, there's a reason it's called peak foliage because it happens for like 72 hours. And then you're like, oh, look how pretty those leaves are. And then like 72 hours later, like the tree's half naked. And you're like, oh my God, put some clothes on. Also, it's kind of cold out here. I should put some clothes on too. So I love the 2 weeks when it gets here. But to think that September 21st all the way through December 21st, you're getting the same thing is crazy. And to think that fall weather starts when toe meets leather in college football is also crazy. Fall weather starts on September 21st because that is when autumn starts. I speak 2 languages, English and facts. And if you want to argue about an opinion about when fall starts, then we should go sell you some oceanfront property in Phoenix, Arizona. What is your take on fall?
My take on fall is, and again, they say Jesus's birthday was on Christmas. It wasn't. It's just when they decided to put it on the calendar. Well, I'm deciding to put fall on the calendar when toe meets leather. That is what I define as fall. As a northerner, I don't like being unbelievably hot all the time. It's not my favorite. You know why? Because it's socially unacceptable to walk around outside naked. So if it's cold, I have the choice to put on clothes. I have that ability. Now, I do want to say you make a very good point in that the fall that we talk, like pumpkin spice latte season, it's over. It's done. Like we had our pumpkin moment. We had the Halloween decorations out. I'm already playing Josh Groban. I'm already playing Christmas music, right?
See, that's also
crazy. Didn't say I was normal. Didn't say I was normal. Sure. But if I were ranking the seasons, right? If I'm ranking them, the weather that I enjoy per capita, right? And maybe that's right. I'm probably going fall. Summer and spring is an interesting discussion, and then winter. And I'm trying to be inclusive here because I know that everybody doesn't ski. If you listen to Sons of Saturday, you know that we ski. I sincerely love the fall. I enjoy being cozy. The spring, you got a lot of rain. The summer, you're just obscenely hot. But I will say, you won me over. Pitch black is BS. Like it's 6:47, guys. This is unacceptable. It's awful. And I think that's more of a reflection on whoever the clown is that invented daylight savings. Maybe not the clown who invented it because we were still farming at that point, but I'm not a farmer. Pat, do you farm? Neither of us are corn huskers. We're Hokies. So
I'm an engagement farmer. Yeah. I'm an engagement farmer of zoo zoo attendees that wear blue and orange and Virginia logos. Here's my last thing about the fall. I like fall weather. I think it's a little overrated. I think people talk about it as if it's this big thing. And fall is really just like an appetizer for the cold stuff. So if you like that and you like this, then, I'm sure there's plenty of whatever. All right, let's talk about this football.
Rank the seasons in the comments for us. So bye week number 2, it was kind of weird having that bye week and then a game and then a bye week. It's really just trash. It's awful scheduling on the ACC's part. There's been some weird scheduling going around the entire ACC. You have Miami not leaving the entire state of Florida for like a 6-week period. And there's a lot. Honestly, Pat, this is a reflection on the weather too. Look at me complaining at the top of this podcast, but I enjoyed my bye week, watched some ball, got a lot of chores done around the house. But the Hokies are opening as a 12.5-point underdog. This game is on 7:30 at ACC Network. What do you got for me? Give me the appetizer. What are your thoughts here?
I wish we got to play this game every single year. And it's, first of all, this schedule has been so strange because Tech has only played 2 road games and it's almost mid-November. It will be mid-November by the time toe meets leather in Tallahassee. And Tech has only played at NC State and at Georgia Tech.
And the neutral site, if you want to count that. True road games.
First time we're getting on a plane to go to a football game. I'm assuming we drove down to Atlanta both times.
Oh, I would not. I would say we definitely got on a plane. They're not busting it, dude. This isn't Virginia Tech State. Like, I'm sure we got on a plane. I actually guarantee we got on a plane. Bad take by you, bro. That's a 6-hour drive. What are you doing?
I'm not planting the flag in that take. I did not play football at Virginia Tech. Okay.
Don't plan it. No, put the flag back. Fold the flag back up.
Dude. The flag has been removed. So they flew both times. So throw out the records.
Pat, not speaking in fact. I thought you only spoke in fact. But all right, go ahead. Sorry.
It's such a bummer that we don't get to play this game every year. Can I just say something about Florida State right now?
Please do, dude. Please.
It is a different kind of place. Tallahassee, Florida. I guess, and here's the thing. Florida, different kind of place. Tallahassee, Florida, different to the second power kind of place.
Yeah.
Spanish moss hanging from the trees. Last time we were there, Billy Ray took some of the moss and wore it like a lei of some sort.
I was itchy.
It was a unbelievable weekend. I've been there 2 times now. And it's just like there's some mystique to the place, and you really wish this game was always played in September before the opportunity for some losses to fester in the loss column, because this is a mid-November game. It means absolutely zero. We looked at this game before the season started. We're like, oh man, that could be a tough one down there in Tallahassee. And now it's like, oh, these guys are not playing for literally anything. These guys are playing for the right to James Franklin, we think. But if one team wins, they're actually more likely to get him. And that's, I don't even think we'll have that conversation. Florida State's financial situation seems to be a mess, but I can't comment on it because I don't know what, Bobby Bowden V has in his bank account and can stroke to get a new coach in town. Tallahassee is my favorite road trip destination.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It is. If you want to just have a boys' weekend and just engage in debauchery, it's the closest thing that you're going to get to what SEC fans get when they go to Nashville. And I am obviously not comparing Tallahassee to Nashville, but the amount of awesome bars that you can go to, the amount of awesome things that you can do that really don't have anything to do with the football game is tremendous. And also another rarity in the ACC is you have a fan base that cares a lot more than most fan bases. You see Florida State when they have some down years, they have some empty seats, but it is fun to play against a team with some history and with some fanhood. And that cares a lot. And it's crazy to think the last time that we were down there was that famous year where Florida State didn't end up losing a single game in the regular season. So if you're making the trip, let us know. At the end of the pod, we're going to go over some places that you might want to check out. But that was a fun trip. As far as Hokie haikus are concerned, we have 3. Ben Griffiths, I'll tell you what, he's been on a tear. Hokies versus Noles, keeping score, might as well win. Winner gets Franklin. Let's do this now, Pat. Have you gotten any text messages this week of people, and I'm not calling them out because I had some people I really like that texted me this, but I got multiple texts where it's like, is it in Tech's best interest to lose this game? #tanking for Franklin. I don't hate anything more than that concept of like, we should lose a game against a team so that they don't fire their coach, so they don't hire the guy that we want to hire. I'd prefer we win all of our games. That is my stance on it. Does any part of you feel like losing this game is better for Virginia Tech?
I don't want to live in a world where that is the case. Mm-hmm. And what's meant to be is meant to be. And if that is the domino that falls that pushes Franklin away from us,
so be it.
If you're James Franklin, can you look yourself in the mirror after doing something like that?
Probably. Yeah. $50 million mirror. Yeah, I'd probably be able to look at myself. Yeah, the way that I look at it, if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. I still feel great about it. I have put out, though, the receipt is out there on Sunday. If it's not James Franklin, I am in on Bob Chesney. And before all of you Virginia Tech fans freak out about, oh my God, we're going to hire a coach from JMU. Well, JMU is projected to make the playoff. And this really good dude, Kurt Signetti, was at JMU and took all of his good players from JMU to Indiana, and he's doing a pretty good job. So I am officially all aboard the Franklin train, but I do have my Bob Chesney parachute on. That is where I stand today on the coaching tracks. Do you have anything to add to that before I get to these other haikus?
I would love that AD coach package deal from JMU. That guy clearly knows what he is doing when it comes to hiring personnel to lead the football program. Let's dive into the Seminole wind.
Real quick, Parks Talbot. Whistles fade to hush. Victory brings Franklin's grin. New rain takes the field. That's pretty good, Mr. Park. That protect our parks. That is good stuff. And then Pete McGee taking us home. More Tallahassee. Seminoles in misery. Hokies in victory. This is a really good triple here. That was really solid.
I might need a pinch hit for you next time, though. You added an extra word that didn't exist on the end of Pete McGee. You said Hokies in victory.
Oh, it's just Hokies,
which is
victory.
A 6th syllable.
Florida State University is a public research university. This is good because Florida State, I feel like, is one of those schools. They're not quite Miami, but you guys have a lot of fans who did not go to Florida State. So Florida State fans, you might learn something about the school that you root for. Public research university. We're also not bogarting fanhood. If you didn't go there, that doesn't mean you can't be a fan. Just a little chirp. It's fun. Little elbow room. It is Florida's oldest continuous site of higher education. We love to see that. They have 44,000 students. That is a lot of students. Some fun alumni. Pat, who do you got here? We got Jim Morrison. He's the lead vocalist of The Doors. We got Burt Reynolds, R.I.P., legend. To continue on our highlighting political figures that are lightning rods, Matthew Gates is a graduate from Florida State. We also have Richard Simmons. We have Brooks Koepka. Bert Kreischer, is he funny? I've kind of had enough.
He's like, here's the spectrum. It's like funny, annoying, and it's just like he's like right here.
Yeah, he's smart. When I first saw the Russian story, I thought he was so funny, and then he told it like 9,000 more times. and the laugh he did 9,000 more times, and I kind of got over it. I'm sure he's a great guy, but it's a tough listen. And lastly, he did not graduate from undergrad here because we took a picture with his undergrad photo, but Kirby Smart did get his master's in physical education from Florida State in 2003. So I thought that was rather interesting.
Most famous NFL legend to play at Florida State. Go.
Most famous Florida State. I mean, I love Jameis Winston, but he's not like the best. Here's what I say. Most entertaining Florida State grad that played football is Jameis Winston. The best college player that played at Florida State is Peter Warrick. The best NFL career guy that I can think of, it's got to be Deion Sanders. Those are the three that I would go with. I think that's pretty good, not thinking about the question that long. What about you?
That was really good. When you said most entertaining and you led with Jameis over Deion, I would love to see a challenge on that one. I don't think Deion would be very happy. Fred Biletnikoff is also on this list. 14 seasons in the league. Won Super Bowl 11 and was
Lee
MVP
Corso
in the Raiders' first Super Bowl win.
Did Lee Corso go to Florida State?
I believe he did.
That'd be a good pull by me. Coached at Navy.
Lee Corso had 14 interceptions.
Wow.
While playing defense for the Noles. They called him Sunshine Scooter for his speed on the football field. Something about Lee Corso just running. Something that I will never have the pleasure of seeing. It's just funny, like Lee Corso and Frank Beamer, just two guys who were locked down defensive players.
God, this DBs. Is people won't like this comment, but can you imagine a foot race for charity between Lee Corso, Joe Biden, and Frank Beamer? Who would you put your money on? Who wins that foot race? Who wins?
All right, we're going to get on to this preview. Hokie history. Virginia Tech versus Florida State. 38 matchups in the bag. Florida State leads the all-time series 24-13 and one tie. Florida State, this is the ACC scheduling at its best. Florida State has not come to Lane Stadium since 2012. They have played 2 games in Lane Stadium since the Hokies joined the ACC 21 years ago.
And we've played at Tallahassee twice in the last 3 years.
Here we go. 2 in a row. We played there in 2018. We played there in 2008.
3 in a row. 4 in a row.
So,
oh my God.
Some recent memories from Hokie and Nole lore. 2023. We were there. Had a fun time. This was when we were starting to get hot. And knew that it was going to be a tough bout to keep up with. Johnny Hamilton, Keon Coleman, Jordan Travis, Verse on the edge. They had a good D-line too. Was this your favorite road trip loss?
No. My favorite road trip loss was Vanderbilt. This is number 2. Pat hates Vanderbilt. It's cool.
The Bashal Tootin touchdown to kick off the second half.
Missed it. Was in the bathroom.
We were all in the concourse. We were getting a photo. Grant Perrell was getting a pic. And Vic came down. His eyes were as big as saucers. He's like, we just ran back the opening kick. And we were just like, what? Like, none of us believed him. And then we went out and we looked at the scoreboard. Like, wow, we just missed such an awesome core memory of the Bashal Tootin lore. That was a fun trip. 2018, the epic win in Tallahassee. If you are like a class of 2016 to 2019, 2020 Virginia Tech grad, and you were like part of this road trip, there were like a couple hundred of us down in the Civic Center parking lot tailgating this one. It started pouring rain. It was an epic tailgate. It was an epic win. They had the swag surfing with the black uniforms. They had Cam Akers. They had DeAndre Francois. And we took them behind the shed 24-3. Big game for Eric Kuma, by the way.
Dude, that game, couple things about that game. It was a Fuente Cornelson big brain moment where they were just running like off coverage. They would give our wide receivers like 10 yards of free space. And we were just like, okay, I'm going to throw a bubble and get 15 yards every single time. And they never adjusted. Willie Taggart, man, they have had some brutal, they're kind of like Auburn, man. They've had some brutal coaching situations. The end of the Jimbo Fisher was brutal. The end of Taggart was brutal. The end of Norvell, it seems like we're there, is pretty brutal. All I remember from the Taggart era was the Do Something Martin Luther King Day post where they like photographed like Martin Luther King's hand onto Willie Taggart. That was tough. That was. I don't know what the approval process was from graphics to hitting the post button, but we need to be better. I have a dream, and that was a nightmare. That was awful. Also, on that 2018 game, I was ready to win the national championship. I don't know about you, but we were in the ACC championship the year before, 2017. We had an amazing defense. Then we go out and beat the hell out of Florida State and Kirk Herbstreit. Who would have known Kirk Herbstreit calls that game? And then 3 weeks later, Kirk Herbstreit is doing it's so bad. It's kind of crazy. What a wild year.
Well, it was actually 1 year and 3 weeks later.
1 year. That's right. 2019. That's right. 2019. That's right.
It was bad, though. It doesn't take away from it being bad. Mm-hmm. Banner night for Kuma and Deshaun McLeese and Damon Hazelton and Josh Jackson, and the list goes on. Even Trayvon Hill. Trayvon Hill. We'll give Trayvon Hill a little shout out here. Mm-hmm. It was Dave's bachelor party. Destin Dave. Mm-hmm. 2010. Epic night. Tyrod. This was the Tyrod Taylor game of the century. ACC championship in Atlanta, or in Charlotte. Hokies win over Florida State. High scoring affair. David Wilson touchdown. Shout out Jaron Gavea-Winslow with the pick six early in the competition. You had a standout game from like Marcus Davis. It was an electrifying evening. 2007, only time Coach Beamer ever beat Bobby Bowden. And this was the 3rd and 31 game. Tyrod, 3rd and 31. Chris Ellis, pick six. Lot of fun that night. 2005, yikes. Hate to bring this up. Marcus Vick lost the ACC championship game to an inferior team at Florida State. Just had no business losing the football game. But 2005 and 2003, those are just, kind of some games and some opportunities you want back. 2000, this is the most famous game in the series, of course. We held a 29-28 lead, how it headed into the fourth quarter in New Orleans, and then Chris Winkie, Peter Warwick. We just didn't have enough gas in the tank. It was a one-man show that night, really. Well, there were some guys riding in the passenger seat with Michael Vick, but we could not outlast them. National championship 2000 in New Orleans.
For those of you that are making the trip, I have a couple of suggestions for you. The night before, we had it was one of those meals where like you had amazing food, but you also were doing some drinking. So you didn't remember the food as much, but table 23 is a great spot. Unbelievable dinner. Ton of fun. I had Big Russ was down there. Jackson was there in jorts. That was a ton of fun. And you got to talk about Madison, dude. You got to put this on your list if you're making the trip.
Madison Social is the iconic spot for pre and post. If you are going the night before the game, if you are going day of the game, if you are going post win and you have some cash and you slip the DJ some doll hairs to play the Metallica song that we like, they will do it. And we did it in 2018 to cap off a fantastic day of rest, Labor Day. Where was the place with the club that we went to?
Oh my gosh. I think it was called wasn't it called like Raya or Rise or something like that? We'll put the video in here, but it was this bar. It had to be like their underage bar. It was like the Berg, but if you put it on steroids, and we had gotten a table there and they played like this remix of the Seminole Chop song. It was seriously awesome. like just unbelievable. I would suggest checking that place out. And then we also, by no means am I saying this place is amazing, but when we were stumbling around Tallahassee, some lady told us to go to Gordo's for brunch. So that's where we went. It's a Cuban cuisine place, had these massive margaritas. They were good.
Gordo's was awesome. I think
had a really good time.
Told us to go there.
That is who told us to go there. So shout out to Taylor T. Yeah, this place was out of control. I had a migraine when we were in there. It's actually unbelievable that I was able to move. I have not seen this video in a long time. That is tough. Don't act like that, or do if we win. Some storylines regarding this game. It is senior day for the Florida State Seminoles. Here's a fun stat for you. ACC wins since 2024. The University of Connecticut has 3 of them. Florida State has 2. That is a brutal situation for Florida State. I don't know why they haven't moved on from Coach Norvell. I don't know what they're waiting for. Was expecting the news yesterday. We didn't receive it. But again, their financial situation is weird. Their 2 wins in the ACC dating back to 2024 are Stanford, who they defeated on October 19th in 2025, and then Cal, who they defeated on September 21st in 2024. Prior to that, they went undefeated in the ACC and beat Louisville on December 3rd in the ACC championship. So it is actually unbelievable that this man is still coaching at Florida State. Virginia Tech is a team that has plenty of reasons to be sitting at 3-6. Florida State being at 4-5 is just objectively hilarious. Again, a year and a half, 2 years removed from basically being in the college football playoff and having that swiped away because of Jordan Travis's injury. So unbelievable. To remind everybody too, this is that year where Norvell was basically told, look, you're going to fire all of your assistants and you're going to bring in new assistants and you better get it done this year. And he hasn't gotten it done. And that lead assistant, though, on the offensive side has done an amazing job. He brought in Gus Malzahn, the Gus bus pulled into Tallahassee, Florida. Listen to these numbers. Florida State produces 493 yards per game. That is the 3rd best in America. They are top 20 in scoring at 36.7 yards per game. And they are top 15 in rushing at 226.7. How is this team 4-5?
They're 17th in points for, and they're 34th in points against.
Yeah.
What's happening?
What is the problem? And they also won against Alabama in week 1. So when they won in week 1, we were just like, Norvell is back. Florida State is awesome. And now here we are as 12.5-point underdogs. I don't understand why you're 12.5-point underdogs, with all due respect to Florida State. And also, I don't understand how your record's that bad. So I texted Jesse Koger and I said, dude, these are your numbers. What is going on? I'm going to do a pod with Jesse. He's our friend from Plant the Spear down at Florida State. And he goes, I got to be honest, like, the offense was great in the beginning, and now the offense has been bad. And then the defense was awful in the beginning, and now they're good, and they just kind of haven't been able to figure it out. So it's one of those situations where the numbers don't at all tell the story. And one of those numbers is this rushing yards per game. So they started with 200 yards in each of their first 4 games rushing, and they've had 0 games over 200 yards since. Not saying that 200 yards is a staple that you should hang your hat on, but it's a lot of boom or bust. And speaking of boom or bust, it is the king of boom or bust, and it's usually bust against Virginia Tech, and that is our guy, Tommy Castellanos, a guy that we know well. Transferred in, beat Alabama after talking all that junk, and you're just like, dude, Tommy knows ball. Tommy knows ball. And we're like, he's clearly won the Bill O'Brien breakup. It seems that they've both lost the Bill O'Brien breakup, as Bill O'Brien, I believe, sits at 1-8, and Florida State is 4-5. He has 11 touchdowns passing to 6 interceptions with 2,128 yards on the year, and he is the 38th ranked QBR. Again, it's just like you read these stats, and you're like, how are they not better than this? He's their second leading rusher with 359 yards and 6 touchdowns on the ground. He has carried the ball 100 times. Hashtag Gerard Evans effect. And he is not as big as Gerard Evans. So apparently he's been banged up since the Pittsburgh game. So that's been a problem. But what are your thoughts on Tommy Castellanos, aside from being Mehul Sangani and Virginia Tech's younger brother?
I'm glad you used the word younger brother and didn't use a different word.
Yeah.
I mean, the numbers look good. He's reunited with Gus Malzahn. Gus recruited him to UCF.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't get it. I don't get it. And Virginia Tech has Tommy Castellanos' number. So something's got to give here this weekend on the road.
The leading rusher for Florida State is Gavin Sawchuk. He's a junior from Littleton, Colorado. First of all, there are just not a lot of running backs that are named Gavin. There are also not a lot of football players that are named Gavin. Name a football player named Gavin. Not Gavin Newsom. Who do you got? Who you got?
Yeah.
You can't name one. You can't name Gavin,
I don't know.
Gavin.
You want to go like lacrosse? Yeah, we can probably dial one up. Baseball, like definitely.
I saw the name Gavin. I don't know why it stood out. This is the kind of analysis you get from Sons of Saturday. I haven't heard of many Gavin football players. If you're listening, drop a Gavin football player that you can think of in the replies. He has 94 carries for 433 yards and 8 touchdowns. The guy to watch. Throw him up. Deuce Robinson is the leading wide receiver. He's 6'6". He can run and catch. He's got 4 100-yard games this season and 43 catches for 8. He definitely doesn't have 8,313 yards. I'm going to have to look this up. This was a poor copy and paste job by me. Deuce Robinson, FSU. He has 813 yards rushing. Who is this?
Here's Gavin Bartholomew. He's a tight end for the Minnesota Vikings, and look at that hair. Whoa, Nelly hot dog. We got a mullet on our hands.
See how deep in the bag you had to go for a Gavin football player? It's just tough. Tell me about this center captain, dude. Who do we got?
Oh man, shout out Luke Pettibone. You want to talk about a guy that we thought I thought for a second Virginia Tech might have Luke out of the portal over the last offseason cycle. He's a DC guy. He went to Gonzaga College High School, downtown DC. He's their captain now. He is the center at Florida State, and he spent his entire career at Wake. He had one more year of eligibility to burn and transfer to Tallahassee, but we know he had a look at Tech in the portal. Huge football family. His dad played football at Maryland from 1983 to 1988 for all the DMV folks out there. And then his grandfather, Richie Pettibone, played at Tulane and then 14 years in the NFL as a safety, but was also the DC for the Redskins under Joe Gibbs for a decade from 1981 to 1992. And then Luke's brother signed with Alabama and ended up playing at Illinois as a grad transfer in 2019. So some lore for the DC DMV folks in the Pettibone family. Flipping it over to the defense.
Real quick about the DC. So we said that they had to flip their coordinators this past year. The defense is hunkered down by Tony White. Tony White has been everywhere. He was the Nebraska defensive coordinator from 2023 to 2024. He was a defensive coordinator at Syracuse from 2020 to 2022. Arizona State, San Diego State, New Mexico, UCLA, coached in Canada, coached for the Bills, actually played for the Bills back then. So he's been all over the place. He's from Key West, Florida, by the way. Interesting. But yeah, tell me about this defense.
They are giving up 316 yards per game. Again, this is like top 25 defense when it comes to yardage allowed. They're giving up 21 points per game, which is 34th. They have the 50th ranked pass defense. They're giving up 204 a contest. They have picked off 10 passes so far this year. Earl Little Jr. from Fort Lauderdale is their leading tackler. You may know that name because his dad played in the NFL. He is one of their safeties and is a transfer from Alabama. And he also leads the team with 4 picks. So this guy's, they're do it all in their third line of defense. Billy Ray, when your leading tackler is a defensive back, usually means there's a lot of holes to run through. But
not good.
Other guys that are involved here on the defense, Jabril Rawls from Pensacola, second on the team with 40 tackles. Ashland Barker, 34 tackles, 3.5 sacks, 2 pass deflections. Then you got Daryl Jackson Jr., wears number 6. He is one of their other captains. He is a big boy on the line, 6'5", 330. Started his career at Maryland, went to Miami for just the 2022 season, and now is down in Tallahassee. Then you got Blake Nicholson from Ripon, California, and he is third on the team in tackles. He's a linebacker, 6'3", 229, and he is a junior as well. And then we'll round it out here with another guy on the edge. Mandrell Desir, 6'4", 265 defensive end from Miami. He is a freshman. He is an impact player. He is a difference maker. He has 4 sacks, 38 sack yards on the season, and he's coming on strong, really hitting his stride, has a sack in each of his last 3 games.
Fun fact about Mr. Desir, his twin brother, Daryl Desir, is also on the defensive line. They call them the twins, and they play both defensive tackle positions. His twin brother has 10 tackles, also has a sack. So I heard that those are the 2 impact players to watch if you're watching the defense for Florida State.
We had twins on our defense. They were the Ginger Twins. And then one of them left.
That is true. That did happen.
Special teams. Jake Weinberg is their kicker. He is a freshman from Boynton Beach, Florida. He is 9 of 12 on the year. But don't ask him to kick anything from more than 40 because he's 2 of 5 from 40 plus.
We're due for a big John Love field goal. I feel like it's been a while since we've seen a big John Love field goal. So I would be on a John Love watch. Weather will probably be nice. I haven't looked at the forecast. If you don't mind checking out the forecast for Tallahassee, let me know what we're expecting down there. Hopefully not snow, hopefully not sleet, hopefully not rain. What is it looking like? What do we got?
Oh, man. If you are making the trip, you are in luck. It is going to be awesome. 77 degrees. Low 46, 7-mile-per-hour winds, 60% nice. Humidity. Perfect for pre-Thanksgiving football in the Sunshine State. Should be a nice week.
Keys to the game. They're brought to you by David Phillips. David Phillips is our trusted realtor in the Blacksburg, Southwest Virginia region. He is a Hokie grad. He is a friend of the podcast, supports wrestling, supports basketball, supports women's basketball, supports football. He lives in Blacksburg. He's a Blacksburg expert. If you are looking to buy, if you are looking to sell, if you are looking to just learn, hit up our guy, Dave Phillips, or hit us up and we will connect you directly with him. I need to change my sub name. It's Franklin DeViti. I'll tell you what, the city is hustling and bustling by you today, Patrick.
You can hear the
celebrations.
Sirens.
Some celebrations going on. The key to the game for me, look, you heard the numbers. Florida State's going to move the ball up and down the field. Virginia Tech, not great at moving the ball up and down the field. So we're going to need to force some turnovers from Florida State, which also we are not necessarily we're not handing out majors in that or even minors in turning the ball over. And we're going to need to score touch-me-downs. None of this field goal stuff. Maybe a long field goal if we need to get to cash in some points, but this is not the type of game you're going to win like 17-10. This is not the type of game you're going to win 12-9. You're going to need to score some serious points to win this football game. On that note, my score prediction is I got Florida State winning the game 38-24.
My key to the game is be the team you were in the first half against Louisville. Be the team you were late in the game against the California Golden Bears. Whatever that was on offense, it's like, give us a reason to watch this game. Give us a reason to watch this football team on offense, please. Because I've been talking a lot of junk to UVA fans, and Like we gotta stay in the fight here. We have a 3-game season. We have an opportunity to make a bowl. I'm kidding, but I just want to be appetizing. We got the late game on ACC Network. Should be fun. Excited to watch Virginia Tech and Florida State play football. Throw out the records. I like Florida State as a football program. I like Tallahassee as a place to go watch football. I'm excited that we get to play this game in Doak Campbell Stadium, and I, unfortunately, will pick Florida State to win that football game. 33-17.
Couple things before we close out here. And if you can embellish me just for a second, I want to do a PSA. I cannot more strongly advise you to watch Virginia Tech's men's basketball team play basketball this year. There are a lot of people listening to this podcast who may not even be aware of what's going on, or they learned of what's going on literally this weekend. Pat, the same people that text me when we lose to ODU and when we lose to Purdue in football were texting me and saying, yo, watching Virginia Tech basketball. These are usually people that didn't go to Virginia Tech. They're people from the Northeast, and they're saying, who is this Greek guy? He's really good. So we just put out our Hokie Hoops podcast. That is the most fun I have had watching Virginia Tech athletics in a very long time with a team that has serious expectations. And I'll also say this, it's not a one-man show. I want to do a good job of that. Like Amani Hansberry, you watch Tyler Johnson, you watch Ben Hammond. Like, this is a team that has a lot of really good pieces and got a really good resume building win over Providence on Saturday. So I cannot more emphatically encourage you guys to, one, follow along with the Hokie Hoops podcast, and number two, watch this Virginia Tech men's basketball team. It's going to be a fun ride this fall, winter, spring.
I turned to Aaron after Tech won this game on Sunday, and we've been together almost 2 years. And it's been, you want to talk about some really challenging times as a fan, as an alum, watching some awful football losses last season that broke me, and a basketball team that really was tough to tune into last year. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I've kind of felt that way after a win in the last 2 years of like anything. It's like, wait, this is what it's like to feel something.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Unless, the Cal game, we will talk about that one for a while because we were there and it was so dramatic and awesome. Different kind of story. There's a difference between like, hey, stealing one in conference play at home, in a wash of a season versus, the next time I turn on highlights from the 2019 team and see Ahmed Hill flying out of the gym, I might have something to compare it to.
It is also a national story. It's that Kevin O'Connor is talking about NBA draft prospect Neoclis Abdallas. It is the Field of 68 is saying what Virginia Tech did for the ACC is tremendous. It is legitimately. Now, I will give credit. Wrestling and softball have done an amazing job on keeping Virginia Tech relevant with people who talk about this sport nationally. But this is the most positive pub Virginia Tech has got for winning since the Final Four, probably. I mean, there are 12 million people watched that one video that was put on X of Neoclis Abdallas's highlights. So it is going to be fun. I encourage you all to tune in. It is appointment television, not just for Virginia Tech fans, but for ball watchers that just enjoy college basketball. 6'9" from Greece, like, tune in, make it a priority. If you live in the Southwest Virginia area, get to a game. I will go to as many of those games as I possibly can. Before we do the ACC slate,
can I say something?
Please do.
PSA, 45 minutes into the episode. New Year's Eve in Blacksburg, Virginia. If you don't have a plan to ring in the new year, guess who we play in basketball at home at Castle Coliseum on New Year's Eve. Virginia. Wow. What an opportunity to see Neo. What an opportunity to see Mike Young, Coach Frazier, Ace, the whole gang. Get there, buy your tickets. I will be there. I think that needs to be the get it trending NYE to VT. Greek, we're celebrating the Greek New Year together. Can we also just acknowledge how awesome souvlaki and pitas are and gyros and all that?
I didn't need white Michael Jordan to come to Virginia Tech to remind me of how good like lamb is. Lamb is the most underrated red meat in the country. It really,
and outside of the country.
That great call out, incredible call out by you. So I'm glad you brought that up. Now we're gonna throw this up just because. Is there a way that I can? There we go. These will be UVA fans tuning in to the podcast because it is time for Pat to do his bit. So Pat, UVA, tough. Lost to Wake Forest this past weekend. Any thoughts on just kind of where you stand? And can you just remind everybody where you planted your flag?
I planted my flag very early this year that Virginia would struggle to sell out a football game. And since that moment, Virginia still has not sold out a football game, but rather is circling the wagons about having 3 straight games with over 50,000 fans for the first time since 2009, for which we should say, okay, very nice marginal improvement for you all. May I remind you, your stadium has more than 55,000 seats.
Mm-hmm.
So when, and my guy Danny Neckel, like, listen, man, we're all humans. It's a rivalry. Like, I'm getting jokes off. No one should be taking this personally. There are some people out there that do. That is not my problem. But Danny Neckel, my guy, who just pumps out stats and is a great follow. Saturday, 12:01 p.m. Toe is meat and leather across the country. And he says, at the Richmond Zoo today, and the UVA gear to VT gear ratio is about 5-1 towards the Who's. So naturally, some guy says, still thinking about Big Bro at the zoo is crazy. Some of these responses are great. So you and your family went to the Richmond Zoo all wearing UVA gear and saw a random person in a VT shirt and you decided to tweet about it? And this guy who I don't even think is a Tech fan checks out. Zoo on football Saturday sounds like a Who move.
Yeah.
So
honestly, Pat, for you to plant this flag so early on and for UVA, you said nothing cross about their team. I think we both were pretty much on record. I went over on UVA's win total this year, and they have a really good team. We really have said zero cross words about UVA's actual playing of football. The problem is the lack of wanting to watch your team play football. And there have been plenty of reasons to not go to games at Scott Stadium over the last 2 decades. There has never been a more compelling reason to go to games than there has been this year. And I think it's safe to say with this loss to Wake Forest, challenge failed, will not rise to the moment. Tough situation in Charlottesville. And I do want to tip my cap to I got to tell you, Jake Malasek, heart goes out to you, dude. Fly out there, super excited at the tailgate, like looking to have a good time. Lose. Trey Keller out there taking pictures, trying to get on board, policing the fan base when they do the rent-free stuff. Lose. Brandon Lloyd, always talking and worrying about what we're doing. Also lost. Tough situation, but don't worry. We will help buy some concessions at the UVA Virginia Tech game following Thanksgiving. Looking forward to it. It's going to be fun.
I was saying to Billy earlier, the zoo thing, the attendance was 55,568. So they still had 6,000 seats that were empty. So I said, the empty 6,000 seats, all those people are too tired from being at the zoo all day long. They couldn't go to the game because they had to see the lions and the tigers and the bears. But what they didn't account for was running into the deacons who sabotaged their day at the zoo. Now, I'm not going to back off of this take.
You shouldn't.
And I don't think I should.
You shouldn't.
I don't. Poor Jake, man. He spent $958.39 on flights to and from Charlottesville. He spent more than $100 per point UVA scored. The content was good. It reminded me of BRM on a Saturday. The wake up on a Saturday, game day vibes. Like, I get that. But team just didn't want it. Jake Dickert. Hats off to that guy. That guy he's got Wake Forest humming to a bowl game in year one.
Over
Jake Dickert. Jake Dickert for VT head coach.
He had the over-under set at like 3.5 or 4.5, and I hammered it just because I listened to him talk at the press conference. I don't mean to call myself a ball knower, but I'm definitely not a ball knower. I'm looking at the slate for the ACC, and my only call-out, you pull up the slate and give me one call-out. Here's my one call-out. Pat Narduzzi had a press conference today where he was asked if the Notre Dame game was a must-win, and he said, no, it's not, which is the right answer. He then proceeded to say, I don't care if we give up 100 points and lose 103-0, as long as we win the next couple games. Brother, I am not a PR expert. I wouldn't even say that I'm great at PR. That is a terrible answer. You could have just said no. What's that song? Should have said no. Gonna come home. Tara Swift.
All right. This is why you're not a good PR expert, because any other PR expert wouldn't just like start singing that. But continue.
Well, okay. Flag on the play. I am not trying to motivate my team to win a game. I am simply a simple salesman with a podcast trying to make fun of Pat Narduzzi. And if I have the opportunity to quote Taylor Swift, I will do it every time. Ipso facto, really dumb take from our guy Pass the Salt Pat. And I kind of like Pat. He's one of those guys. He's one of those guys where if he's your guy, you like the guy. When he ain't your guy, you don't like the guy. And that was a bad quote. You got anything you're looking at on this slate? It would be very Duke. It would be very Duke and very ACC for Duke to lose to UConn in Stores and then beat UVA to knock them out of the ACC title race, and then Duke to step into the ACC title race by winning that game.
I'm just looking at this Duke team. I'm like, these guys are 5-4. Wait, these guys, the 5-4 Duke Blue Devils, are the ones that everyone was like, wait, they actually still have a chance to win the ACC. And I'm like, wow, how down bad is this league? Like, imagine if Virginia Tech just fielded a halfway competent football team this year. Like, we could be that mistake.
I know.
And the Duke Blue Devils have very well an opportunity to beat UVA. I am looking at this game just for the optics on social media. Guess who the Calgorithm has? Crosstown rival.
They playing Stanford?
They're playing Stanford.
Ooh. I'm gonna have to tune into the Calgorithm because I know they're gonna have. They were making Stanford jokes and they were gonna play us. To give you guys a quick snapshot of this ACC, I'll actually.
They're on a bye. Sorry, they're on a bye. They got 2 weeks.
So next week.
I was about to say. No, they have 2 weeks of algorithming.
Okay. Real quick, just so you all can see it, like this is the current ACC. This is just weird. Like Georgia Tech and Virginia do not play each other. To my knowledge, Virginia and Pittsburgh do not play each other. All the teams that have one loss are Duke, SMU, Pittsburgh, Virginia, Georgia Tech. That's without mentioning Louisville, who has 2 losses, Miami, who has 2 losses. Like, I don't know how this is going to shake out. Coastal chaos. It's not something of the past. It's just something that we had to reimagine. Simply unbelievable. Give me real quick, if any of these teams could win the ACC, who do you want to win the ACC? Give me your 2 that you would like and 1 that you don't want to see. You cannot say UVA.
I don't want to see SMU.
Okay.
I just don't really vibe with them as a representative of our conference.
Sure.
I don't hate them. I just don't want them to win it, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And let Brent Key climb the mountain. I am rooting for Brent Key and Georgia Tech to carry the torch for us.
If you were asking me who I would like, I am okay with just out of the 1-loss teams, Duke, Pittsburgh, or Georgia Tech. I think any one of those would be fun. I think Duke would be hilarious to have Duke win the ACC after losing to UConn. I think Pittsburgh, after having that weird year last year, starting off awful, bringing this other quarterback in, and now they're 5-1. I think that's crazy. And Georgia Tech, I think Georgia Tech's really the only team out of all of these that can actually, I don't know. I think SMU is probably your best chance at a roster that can go out and can compete against another conference. It doesn't really matter. The ACC is trash. And I think that was definitively marked last week. Closing thoughts? You got anything for us? Any last words?
College game day is going to that Pittsburgh Notre Dame game, and Pat Narduzzi says he doesn't care if they lose by 3 digits. That is a coach that I would also not have a problem with seeing win the ACC, just because of just crazy things he does, like say things like that. I'm pretty sure Pitt, was it Pitt? No, it wasn't Pitt. Trying to think of the last team to kind of complete the cycle of when like 7 different teams from the Coastal won the ACC Coastal in 7 consecutive years.
It might have been Pitt because Pitt beat Wake that year.
It probably was then.
It probably was.
That was what? Was that 2020, 2021?
Mm-hmm.
What a conference.
Yeah, what a conference is right. I think it was 2021 because that was our boy Pickett's last go around. But that is a podcast. We have been
I got one more comment because I like to lean into this.
Sure.
And because he said it's weird that I keep talking about the zoo thing. Listen up, Virginia fans. You guys are a waterfall of content. Like, this is self-created content of things that other fan bases make fun of. It's funny that Cal spent all week before the Virginia game lamenting on how much they missed us because we were just better at tweeting and, having a barstool conversation. Like, Cal fans, cheers to you guys. Virginia football and Virginia as a whole just is a faucet that you never turn off. They're always creating content and ways, self-manufacturing ways for us to kind of just take fun, playful jabs.
Who was jabbing at you? Who came at you this afternoon?
I won't call this a jab at all. It's not a jab. It's more so just me throwing another one.
Oh, okay. I got you.
But Danny, after his zoo visit, he says, biggest increase in average attendance in college football so far this year compared to last year. Let me share the screen for the folks at home so you don't have to listen to me spew a bunch of random numbers. The biggest increase in average attendance in college football so far this year compared to last year. So obviously trying to find out, like, hey, who's packing their stadium compared to last year? Florida State, 12,553. Georgia Tech, 8,500 more. Virginia 8,100 more. So that's great. You got 3 HBCU schools who are, making a lot more money, selling a lot more tickets. That's great. Biggest decreases: Oklahoma State 5,900, Virginia Tech. Okay. Also, these 3 schools fired their coaches. Oklahoma State 5,900, Tech 6,600, UCLA 9,700, and then the asterisk. Florida State had a renovation that added more seats. Mm-hmm. Okay. This is a cherry-picked statistic if I have ever seen one in my entire life. First of all, anyone can improve by 8,100 seats from 0. Okay? Secondly, if you stick a guy like Al Jones on the case, he's going to battle. I said, I'm hearing that there have been some record-breaking zoo attendance stats out of Richmond from Saturday. Al Jones, UVA is averaging 49,000 right now. It will go up after the Tech fans come to town. Still with those numbers, Tech is averaging 10,000 fans more than Virginia and will increase with the Miami game because the Miami game is sold out. And Danny just says to me, this is the second time you've mentioned it. It's getting weird. It's not getting weird. It's a rivalry. It's a rivalry. It's funny.
Why does this have to be explained that it's I don't understand. Like, if you put anything into the ether on the internet, you open yourself up for the opportunity for people to make fun of you. Also, I would hope that more fans would go to your game if you went from being cover your kids' ears dog shit to competing for a chance to play in the college football playoff. I would hope more fans would go to your game. I'm actually shocked more aren't going to your game. And honestly, in a weird, twisted, screwed up way, I'm rooting for you guys to have more people go to your game. You guys actually have such a good team this year. We have people who write for Sons of Saturday that live in Charlottesville and say, I guess I'll go and root against the University of Virginia. How many people live in wherever Virginia that is, and they're like, I have nothing better to do, I'll go to this game? And people are usually chirping Tech for having nothing going on in Southwest Virginia. Actually, there are plenty of things going on in D.C., New Jersey, Charlotte, where a lot of these fans come from, and we still choose to go watch our 3-4 or 3-5 football team. So I digress.
Billy, retweet if your college football team has not trailed by more than 10 points at any point all season.
Congratulations, guys. Unbelievable job. I'm actually going to spend the next 15 minutes diving into that account. That is an hour.
Danny, it's not personal. I actually think you have good content, especially for Hoos fans. You got 13,000 followers for a reason. Mm-hmm. Put out some good stuff. There's also some serious cherry picking of which stats to push, and that's okay. But when they are pushed, Al Jones will jump on them. That was fun.
I'm chewing an ice cube. Subscribe, watch the basketball team. That's a podcast. I will be in LSU. I'm headed down to Baton Rouge. Baton Rouge Bill is back. Celebrating the how would you say this? We're celebrating the future birth of and so if my cousin has a kid, will that then be my second removed nephew? Or is that just nothing?
It's your not cousin's nothing. Kid.
It's my cousin's kid. So we're headed down to Baton Rouge. Hopefully the flight situation is figured out. Probably won't be. But Pat, you enjoy the rest of your week, my man. This was fun.
Go Hokies. Enjoy the games. Drink responsibly. Make sure it's Jack and Coke this weekend.